Hello viewers, welcome to CodeForAny, Fruit Markets apps inside. Yesterday we need to develop this here the onboarding screens. Now today we need to develop this here the login screen as well as the login with mobile numbers UI screens we need to developing here. First of all, we need to import here the phone numbers, flag pickers we need to add here, and then after we need to continue this UI. First of all, needed image we need to import inside the assets img folders. Inside we need to import here, we need to put here. First of all, we need to give like this here the image imports here, like we need to set this here. Now we need to import this here the library. We need to open this here for the plate figures, fi country codes pickers. We need to these plugins we need to use here. Now we need to go inside here the installs. We need to copy here, and we need to go inside here the pub space, and we need to import this here the first library, and we need to save like here, and we need to importing this here the country code pickers. We need to import here. Now done here, and now need to create here the login screen. First of all, now need to write down here the login underscore screen dot dots. Like we need to creating here for the login screens. Create here the stateful widgets, and we need to write down here the names login screen, and we need to import this here the material dependency. Now create here the scaffold, and we need to write down here the body, and we need to create here the column. First of all, we need to set here the shape area and create here the column like here, and we need to give this here the cross axis alignment. We need to set here the center like here. First of all, we need to give this here the some height space. We need to set here size box. Give this here the height space. We need to set this here the 50 like here. Then after we need to set here the image assets for the login image. We need to set here copy relative path like here, and we need to give this here the width. To use this here the context dot with extension variables. If you not see here the second video, plus please first of all the see here the second video explain in details how to create like this here the with extension variables. We need to give this here the 17%, and we need to write here like this value. We need to configure this here and this value. Now need to save here, and first of all need to configure the screens here. Need to write down here. First of all, need to go here the onboarding screens, and we need to write down here the next load screen functions. We need to find out. Yesterday we need to write these functions. Now inside we need to how to functionality work. We need to set here. Need to use this here the context dot push extension methods. Need to call here. Second episodes inside we need to write downs like this here the post extension methods we need to develop here and explain in details. If you not see here, first of all the see this video how to write down this like here the methods. This is not built-in methods, need to custom methods need to develop and extend this here the context build context need to extend. Now we need to setting here the login screens. We need to configure here, and we need to set this here the const variables inside and save this here. And now click on and open this here the like this here the UI we need to show here. Now first of all we need to set this here the titles. Need to configure here, and we need to give this here the size box width. Need to set here double dot max width like here, and now get this here the centers. We need to decrease this here 65%. We need to image size we need to configure here, maybe more. We need to set here the 60%. Now display goods, and we need to first of all the set here the text, and we need to set this here the titles fruit market. We need to set here the title market like here. Set this here the style text styles. We need to set this here the color t color primary colors for the titles. We need to set here, then after we need to set this here the font size. We need to set here the 45, and font weight we need to set here bold 700. Like we need to configure for this UI similar to design. So need to making like this here the UI. We need to increase this here the 50, and we need to set here the some height space. Again, so we need to copy this here this line of code. Need to paste here, remove this here, and we need to configure this here the height. So need to give this here the fixed heights 15, and like this we need to give this here the space. Now we need to create here the space here, like here's not possible here the here use this here the space semicolon, like here. Also create here the another space, and now need to create here the buttons for the need to custom round buttons. We need to modify here, need to set here the types enum, and to give this here the round button type, like here. I need to set here the case, set here the primary and line, like here. So need to setting here the enum. Now need to set here the type final round button types, and we need to write down here the type of this theme. Need to pass this here the parameters. This dot type is equal to, need to write down here the rounded button types primary. Need to configure here like these conditions, and we need to configure related to these designs. We need to set here the background colors if here the line, then to set this here the transparent colors we need to configure, otherwise we need to give this here the white colors. Now we need to check here the type equal to t color dot primary, not round button type dot primary, then primary colors, otherwise we need to set this here the color white, like here. And we need to creating here the borders, is equal to set here if check here types is a line, and we need to write down here the border all. We need to configure this here the color t color. We need to configure here the secondary text colors. We need to configure, then after need to give this here the width as a 1, like we need to configure, otherwise we need to set here the null. And also same as we need to set here the text colors. Need to configure this here if primary, then white, otherwise we need to set this here the primary text colors. We need to configure for this UI. Maybe set here primary text colors, save here like. Now this is buttons are the put here the done. We need to set here the alignment parameters also need to need here, and padding const position set symmetric. We need to give this here the horizontal 20, like we need to configure here, and we need to set here the text alignments. We need to change this here the alignment final alignment align alignment titles. Need to set here the center by defaults, this dot type alignments is equal to need to write down here the alignment dot center defaults need to given here, need to give here the alignment, and this is the custom buttons are the developing here. Now need to save here, need to go inside here the logins, and then after so need to set here the round button, and we need to set this here the title, enter your mobile number, and on press event we need to open this here the mobile login screen, so need to opening here, need to set here the padding first of all, symmetric and horizontal. We need to set this here the 20 because here the max width, and look like this show here, and then after we need to set this here the type and alignment, set here round type dot line, and alignment also check this here alignment dot, so need to call this here the center left, and look like this here the show here maybe round button inside the color issue, need to fix here secondary text like here show here or the mobile numbers, and look like this here the show here. Now this is are the configures here, and we need to go again here the login screens, and we need to set here. Now we need to set here the text, set here the or, and we need to find out here the font 14 semi bold, and primary text, and show like here. Now need to create here the another space here, and we need to develop this here the two buttons we need here. Now we need to write down here row set childs, give this here the comma, need to create here the padding, and I need to give this here the symmetric, horizontals we need to set this here the 20. Now create here the expanded, and write down here inkwell on tab event, set here the child, and we need to use this here the container, not containers, we need to yes, we need to use here container, create here the childs, create here the row like here, and we need to give this here the main axis size, set here the minimum, set here the icon assets, give this here the Google icon, copy relative path, paste this here, so we need to set this here the width and height, so we need to provide this here as a 20 like here. Need to configure here, create here the decorations, box decoration, set here the color, no need, set here the border, all, need to give the here the color, T color, secondary text colors we need to put here, give this here the width 1, and another configurations border radius, circulars we need to set this here the pi, and now need to set here the some width space, we need to configure here the 15, and you need to set here the titles for this button, like here, and we need to write down here the name, log in it, and show like here. So need to set this here the padding, post edges insert, symmetric, horizontal 15, and to give the here the height, need to configure this here the 50, and look like this here the 45. Now display good. Need to remove here regular font, like here the show for this text. Now need to convert into the common button. Need to use here, need to copy this here the cut, and we need to go inside here the common widgets. Need to write down here icon round button dot dots. Create here the stateless widgets. Need to write down here the icon round buttons, and import this here the material dependency, and we need to paste this code here. Now again we need to copy this here the some value. You need to need here to copy here this value, and we need to put here, need to set here the string as a icon, remove this unused code, and input this here. Fix this here the typo, and here also rename, make mistake here button typo. Import this here the color extensions, like here. Need to set here the icons as a icon, like here. Titles as I need to set here the title, and click events on press. We need to write down here the on tab. Now we need to save these buttons, control Z, and we need to write down here the child's here icon round button, set here the titles, here to copy, login with, give this here this icon, and on press event, like here. Need to cut this code here. Now no needs to clean here this code, set here the comma, like here. Give this here the some width space using here the sized box. Give this here the width. We need to set this here the 15, and again so we need to copy this here this line of code, and we need to paste this here, and to develop this here the Facebook buttons, login with Facebook, paste here, and login with. So like this here, show this here the creating, and need to increase this here the item width 25, and look like this similar to designs. Need to making like this here the UI or the screen. Now we need to create here the mobile number enters UI screen. So we need to develop here. First of all, we need to create here the login folders inside the new files, and we need to give this here the name mobile login screen dot create here the stateful widgets. Write down here the mobile login screen, and input this here the material dependency, and we need to create here the scaffold. Create here the app bars. Need to set here design inside the not show here the app bars, because we need to back button also need to provide this here. That's why I need to create here the app bars. Need to set this here the no need to here the titles. Need to set here the leading, and we need to set here the icon button, and on press event create here the icon, set here the icons dot arrow iOS back, and we need to configure this here the color, tree color, secondary text. We need to set like this here the, and we need to save this here. Now click on these buttons. We need to open this here the mobile login screens. We need to trigger here. Now we need to go inside here the login screens and to click on here the mobile numbers event context dot post extension methods we need to call here, and we need to inside const and to call this here the mobile login screens. We need to pass here these functions, and we need to click here and opening this like here the screen. We need to fix this here the bar colors. We need to set this here the white colors. We need to fix here. We need to write down here the background color dot white. Otherwise, we need to set this here the transparent like here and show like this here, and to change this here the primary text and black need to show like here. Now we need to create here this couple body, and we need to set here the shape area, create here the column, and we need to set here the padding. First of all, so we need to write down here the paddings, set here the symmetric, and we need to give this here the horizontal 20, like we need to configure here. Now we need to making this here the UI. First of all, we need to develop this here the text fields UI. We need to put here. We need to developing here. We need to write here the country pickers variables. We need to declare here. First of all, the declaring here FL country picker, do not imports right yet. We need to open this here the code and to go here, and we need to copy this like here the final variables, paste this here and input this here, maybe not imports, check here, why not get into wrong place put, that's why not working here. So need to give this here the dependency, save here, and need to write again and input this here. Now importing here, and we need to create like this here the pickers. We need to configure here. Now we need to create here the final text editing control, write down here the txt mobile is equal to, need to write down here the txt editing text editing controllers like here. So need to configure here. So now we need to init states. We need to initialize this here the country codes also need here. Need to declare the later country code, and need to write down here country code variables, and we need to initialize first of all here. Need to write down here the country code picker dots, need to country code dots, need to where first element, need to check here, and down here item this items dot, need to check here the name equal to India. If you here your different country, then to set here the your different countries names, you need to put here, and you need to find out here the country codes related to your country. Like we need to customize this here, and now we need to creating here the row. We need to develop here. First of all, making here the buttons of verifications. Set here the titles. Need to set as per designs. We need to verify like here's and on press event. And we need to give this here the some height space. Size boxed. Give this here the height. We need to configure this here the 30 and save here and look like this here the verify button. So need to show here. Now create here the another size box and we need to create here the row and need to wrap with here the container. Create here the decorations, box decorations. Set here the color to not colors, border radius, all borders need to set this here the color, the color secondary text, and need to give this here the width to set here the one, and then after need to create here the border radius circulars. We need to set this here the pi, and we need to give this here the create here expanded text field to develop here. Create here the controllers. We need to given this here the txt mobile. Then afterwards we need to set this here the keyboard type, input text, text input text input dots. Need to check here variable type text input on like here. Now create here the decorations, input decorations. Set here the enable border, input border none, same as focus border, input borders null. We need to configure similar to UI, and enable borders same. We need to configure here like here. Need to show here. Now we need to create here the hint text, and we need to write down here the examples. Set here like here the example and show like here, and we need to set here the content padding here, content padding const edges insert symmetric horizontals. We need to set here the 15 and look like this here the show here. For this text fields we need to configure here. Now we need to developing this here the buttons for the opening this here the flags. Need to configure here. First of all need to write down here the inkwell on tab event, and we need to create here the child, create here the container, Decorations, box decorations. Need to set this here the border, border all color, the color secondary text. Give this here the width as a 1 and border radius. Circulars, we need to set this here the pi like here, and we need to give this here the fixed width and heights we need to provide here. So we need to set this here the 19 and height we need to give this here the 50 and show like here this UI, maybe set the 80 like here, and show here. So we need to increase this here the space, we need to set here the 60, and inside need to give this here the text field, create here the child, set here the text, need to show here, set this here the style, text styles, and we need to set this here the color, the color, primary text, set here the font size 15 and regular fonts, otherwise medium. Need to set here the font weight 500 for this mobile number, and we need to how to show this here the mobile number. So need to set here the country codes, need to showing here space like here, and we need to use this here the country code dots, we need to get here the dial code here, and we need to show this here. So we need to restart this here because we need to initialize this time, not declare this variables. That's why I need to get this here like here the error opening here and show like here. Now need to set here the alignment, need to configure for this UI alignment dot center and show like here. So need to increase this here font size 17 and show like this here, and save this here. And now need to write down here this click events, need to opening this here and this tab, need to write down here the final code equal to need to await functions, need to call here since, and we need to call this here the country code picker, country pickers dots need to show picker functions, need to call here, pass this here the context and returning these functions. Now need to write down here if code equal to not null, and we need to set here the country code equal to code, and we need to set state look like this years, opening this years and show like this year the country, need to select any ones and to select this years. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.